What happens when two of entertainment's biggest personalities collide on live television in a way nobody saw coming? The tension between Leslie Jones and Kelly Clarkson reached a boiling point that left the audience in stunned silence and producers scrambling. This is the moment that everyone is talking about, and you need to hear exactly how it all unfolded. Hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below, because this story is absolutely wild. Kelly Clarkson leaned forward in her chair with that signature warm smile plastered across her face, ready to dive into what she thought would be another fun, light-hearted celebrity interview. Leslie Jones sat across from her, already animated before the conversation even started, her energy filling the studio like it always does. Kelly started things off with what seemed like an innocent enough question. So Leslie, you have been such a force in comedy for years now, and I have to ask, what do you think makes your comedy style so different from everyone else out there? Leslie's expression shifted slightly, her eyes narrowing just a fraction. Well, Kelly, I think what makes my comedy different is that I do not play it safe. I go places other people are scared to go. I talk about real things, real experiences. You know what I mean? I do not sugarcoat anything for anybody. The audience clapped, clearly feeling the energy Leslie was bringing. Kelly nodded enthusiastically, seemingly unaware of the edge creeping into Leslie's tone. That is so true, Kelly replied, and I think that is what people love about you. You are so authentic and raw. But I have to ask, and I hope this does not come across the wrong way, do you ever worry that sometimes the rawness can alienate certain audiences? Like, do you ever think about toning things down just a little bit to reach more people? The studio fell into a strange quiet. Leslie's smile faded completely, replaced by a look of disbelief. She sat back in her chair, crossing her arms. I am sorry, what? Leslie asked, her voice dropping an octave. Did you just ask me if I should tone myself down? Kelly's eyes widened, clearly sensing she had stepped into something she did not anticipate. No, no, that is not what I meant at all. I just meant like, strategically. Do you ever think about... Leslie cut her off before she could finish. Strategically? Leslie repeated, her voice rising. Kelly, let me tell you something. Black women, we get told to tone it down our whole lives. We get told we are too loud, too much, too aggressive, too everything. And I built my whole career on not listening to that noise. So for you to sit here and ask me that question, Kelly tried to interject, her hands raised in a placating gesture. Leslie, I promise you, that is not what I was trying to say. I think you might be misunderstanding me here. Leslie leaned forward now, her voice sharp and clear. No, I understand you perfectly. You want me to make myself smaller so that people who are uncomfortable with me can feel better. That is what you are saying, whether you realize it or not. The audience was completely silent now. You could hear the cameras adjusting, the crew members shifting nervously. Kelly's face flushed red, and she shook her head quickly. That is absolutely not what I am saying, Leslie. I have nothing but respect for you and your work. I was asking a question about the industry, not about you personally. Leslie scoffed, a bitter laugh escaping her lips. The industry? Kelly, the industry is built on making people like me feel like we need to change who we are, and I am tired of it. I am tired of being in spaces where people smile in my face and then ask me why I cannot just be a little less of myself. Kelly's voice took on a defensive edge now, her own frustration starting to show. Leslie, you are putting words in my mouth that I never said. I invited you here because I admire your work. I think you are incredible, but you are twisting what I said into something it was not. Am I, though? Leslie shot back. Because it sounded pretty clear to me. You asked if I should tone it down. Those were your words, not mine. Kelly took a deep breath, visibly trying to regain control of the situation. Okay, maybe I phrased it poorly. I apologize if it came out wrong, but I think you are being unfair right now. I would never, ever tell anyone to be less than who they are. Leslie shook her head slowly, her jaw set. You know what, Kelly? I have been doing this a long time. I know when someone is trying to put me in a box, even when they are being nice about it. And I am not about to sit here and let it happen, not even on your show. The tension in the studio was suffocating. Kelly looked genuinely hurt now, her eyes glistening slightly. Leslie, I am really sorry you feel that way. But I think there is a huge miscommunication happening here. Is there, though? Leslie asked, her tone colder now. Or are you just upset that I am not going along with the script, that I am not playing the fun, agreeable guest who laughs at everything you say? Kelly's mouth dropped open, clearly stung by the accusation. That is not fair, Leslie. I have never expected that from any of my guests. I want real conversations. That is the whole point of this show. Real conversations? Leslie questioned, her eyebrows raised. Okay, then let us have a real conversation. Why do you think it is okay to ask me about toning myself down when you would never ask that of someone else? Kelly stammered for a moment, caught off guard. I do not think I would never ask that. I ask all kinds of questions to all kinds of guests. Name one time you asked a white comedian if they should tone it down, Leslie challenged, leaning forward in her seat. Just one time. Kelly opened her mouth to respond but paused, clearly searching for an example. The silence stretched on, and Leslie nodded slowly, as if that was the answer she expected. Exactly, Leslie said quietly. You cannot think of one because you would not. But with me, it is fair game, right? Kelly's voice cracked slightly when she spoke again. Leslie, I swear to you, that was not my intention. I am asking you to believe me when I say that. Leslie looked at Kelly for a long moment, her expression unreadable. Then she shook her head. You know what, Kelly? Maybe you did not mean it that way. Maybe you really do not see it. But that is the problem. People do not see it. And then people like me have to sit here and explain why it hurts. And honestly, I am exhausted. The audience remained frozen, unsure if they should applaud, stay silent, or do anything at all. Kelly looked down at her hands, her fingers fidgeting with the cards she had prepared for the interview. I do not know what to say, Kelly admitted, her voice small. I genuinely thought we were having a good conversation, and now I feel like I have ruined everything. Leslie sighed heavily, her shoulders sagging slightly. Look, I am not saying you are a bad person, Kelly. I am saying that these microaggressions, they add up. And when you are on the receiving end of them your whole life, you get sensitive to them. You have to. Kelly nodded slowly, tears visibly forming in her eyes now. I hear you, Leslie. I really do. And I am so sorry that I made you feel that way. That was never my goal. I know it was not your goal, Leslie said, her tone softening just a fraction. But impact matters more than intent. You can have the best intentions in the world, but if the impact is harmful, then we have to talk about it. You are right, Kelly agreed, wiping at her eyes quickly. You are absolutely right. I appreciate you calling me out on it. I really do. But Leslie was not done. The thing is, Kelly, it is not just about you calling me out. It is about the fact that I have to do this over and over again, in every space I enter. I have to educate, explain, defend myself constantly, and it is draining. I can only imagine, Kelly said quietly. I know I will never fully understand what that is like, but I want to do better. Wanting to do better is great, Leslie replied, but it requires actually doing the work. It requires thinking before you speak, considering how your words might land differently for different people. It requires not putting the burden on us to teach. Leslie shifted in her seat, her body language still tense, despite Kelly's apologies. The audience could feel that this was far from over, and what happened next only proved them right. Kelly cleared her throat, trying to steer the conversation somewhere, anywhere, that might ease the tension. Leslie, can we maybe start fresh? I really want to hear about your new projects. I know you have so much going on right now. Leslie let out a short laugh, but there was no humor in it. Start fresh? Kelly, we cannot just start fresh, like nothing happened. That is exactly the problem. People want to move past uncomfortable conversations before they have actually dealt with them. Kelly's face showed her frustration growing. I am trying here, Leslie. I apologized. I acknowledged what you said. What more do you want from me right now? I want you to sit with it, Leslie said firmly. I want you to actually feel uncomfortable for a minute, instead of rushing to make everything okay again. Because that discomfort you are feeling right now, I feel that every single day. Kelly bit her lip, visibly struggling to hold back her emotions. I understand that, Leslie. I do. But I also think that we can acknowledge mistakes and still move forward in a productive way. Productive for who, though? Leslie challenged. Productive for you because you do not want to sit in this awkwardness on your own show? Or productive for me because I get to actually be heard? The audience shifted uncomfortably. Some people looked at each other, unsure of what they were witnessing. This had gone beyond a simple disagreement. This was raw, unfiltered conflict playing out in real time. Kelly's voice rose slightly, her own defenses kicking in fully now. Leslie, I have been nothing but respectful to you. I have apologized multiple times, but you are not even giving me a chance here. You are treating me like I am the enemy when I am not. Leslie leaned back and crossed her arms again. See, that right there, that is the problem. The moment I do not accept your apology quickly enough, the moment I do not make you feel better about your mistake, suddenly I am the one being unreasonable. Suddenly I am the one not giving you a chance. That is not what I said, Kelly protested, her voice shaking slightly. I am just saying that I am trying to meet you halfway here, and you are not meeting me at all. Halfway? Leslie repeated, her eyebrows shooting up. Kelly, you do not get to decide when we have met halfway. You do not get to tell me when I should be okay with what happened. That is not how this works. Then how does it work, Leslie? Kelly asked, her frustration evident. Because honestly, I do not know what you want me to do right now. I have apologized. I have listened. But nothing seems to be enough. Leslie shook her head slowly. You know what your problem is, Kelly? You think that saying sorry should immediately fix everything? You think that because you did not mean to hurt me, the hurt should not count. But that is not reality. I never said the hurt does not count, Kelly shot back. But I also think there has to be some grace given when someone makes a mistake and genuinely apologizes for it. Grace? Leslie said, the word heavy on her tongue. You want grace? You want me to give you grace after you just told me to make myself smaller? Do you know how many times I have been asked to extend grace to people who hurt me? Do you know how exhausting that is? Kelly's eyes were full of tears now, and her voice cracked when she spoke. I am not trying to hurt you, Leslie. I would never intentionally hurt you. Why can you not see that? Because intention does not erase impact, Leslie said, her voice firm but not yelling. I keep saying that, and you keep not hearing it. You did hurt me, whether you meant to or not. And my feelings about that are valid, regardless of what you intended. Your feelings are valid, Kelly agreed, her words coming out quickly. I am not disputing that at all. But my feelings are valid too, and right now, I feel attacked for something I did not mean to do. Attacked? Leslie's voice went up an octave. You feel attacked? Kelly, I am the one who got told to tone myself down on national television. I am the one who has to sit here and explain why that is problematic. But somehow, you are the victim now? I am not trying to be the victim, Kelly said defensively. I am just trying to express that this is hard for me, too. Hard for you? Leslie repeated, incredulity in her voice. This is hard for you? You want to know what is hard, Kelly? Hard is being a black woman in an industry that constantly tells you that you are too much. Hard is fighting for every single opportunity while watching mediocre people get handed things you have to beg for. Kelly threw her hands up in exasperation. It was one question, Leslie. One poorly worded question, and you are acting like I committed some unforgivable sin. The audience gasped quietly at Kelly's words. Leslie's face hardened immediately. Oh, so now I am overreacting? Leslie asked, her voice dangerously calm. Now I am being too sensitive? Is that where we are going with this? Kelly realized her mistake instantly. No, that is not. I did not mean it like that. I am just saying that maybe we are blowing this out of proportion. We? Leslie questioned. There is no we here, Kelly. You asked the question. You made the mistake. This is not some shared responsibility situation. Kelly's face was red now. Whether from embarrassment, frustration, or anger, it was hard to tell. Fine, Leslie. You want me to take full responsibility? I take full responsibility. I asked a stupid question. I am sorry. Is that what you want to hear? Not like that, Leslie said, shaking her head. Not when you are angry and resentful about it. A real apology does not come with attitude. Kelly shook her head, looking down. I do not even know what to say anymore. I feel like everything I say is wrong. Maybe that is because you are not listening, Leslie suggested. Maybe you are so busy defending yourself that you are not actually hearing what I am trying to tell you. The studio fell silent again. The crew members looked at each other nervously. The producers were likely panicking behind the scenes, trying to figure out how to salvage this interview. But there was no salvaging it. This had become something else entirely. Kelly took a shaky breath. Okay, Leslie, tell me what I am missing. Tell me what I am not getting, because clearly I am failing here. You are missing that this is not about you, Leslie said, her voice softer now but still firm. This is about a pattern. This is about a system. You are just one person who said one thing, but you are part of a bigger problem. And when I call it out, I am not just calling you out. I am calling out everyone who has ever made me feel like I need to shrink myself. Kelly wiped her eyes, her composure crumbling. I am really sorry, Leslie. I am so sorry. But Leslie was not softening. She sat there, arms still crossed, watching Kelly with an expression that was hard to read. The audience did not know whether to applaud, to stay silent, or to leave. Kelly looked at her producers off camera, clearly desperate for some kind of guidance, but there was nothing they could do. This was Leslie's moment, and she was not backing down. You know what, Kelly? Leslie said finally, breaking the silence. I do not think you get it, and maybe you never will. Because to really get it, you would have to live it, and you have not. Kelly's face crumpled at those words, and for a moment, it looked like she might completely break down on camera, but she held it together, barely. I know I have not lived your experience, Kelly said, her voice barely above a whisper, but I am trying to understand. Trying is not enough, Leslie said bluntly. Not when people like me are tired. Not when we have been trying to get people like you to understand for decades. And you know what the most frustrating part is? You will walk away from this conversation and go back to your life. But I will still be dealing with this tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. Kelly looked genuinely devastated now. So what are you saying? That there is no hope? That people like me can never do better? I am saying that doing better requires actually doing something, Leslie responded, her tone sharp. Not just feeling bad about it, not just apologizing when you get called out, but actually examining your own biases and doing the work to change them. I want to do that work, Kelly insisted, her voice pleading. I really do. Then do it, Leslie said simply. But do not expect me to hold your hand through it. Do not expect me to make you feel good about the process, because that is not my job. My job is to protect myself and my peace. And right now, this conversation is threatening both of those things. The audience was completely transfixed. No one was moving. No one was checking their phones. Every eye was locked on the two women on stage. Kelly took a deep breath, clearly trying to compose herself. Leslie, I hear everything you are saying. I really do. And I am going to take this seriously. I am going to think about what you said and try to do better. I promise you that. But Leslie just stared at her, unmoved. Kelly, how many times have you made that promise before? How many times have you had conversations like this with other people and then gone right back to business as usual? Kelly looked stunned. I do not. That is not fair. You do not know what conversations I have had or what I have learned. You are right. I do not know, Leslie acknowledged. But I know what I see. And what I see is someone who is more concerned with being seen as a good person than actually being one. That hit Kelly like a physical blow. You could see it in her face, the way her entire body seemed to recoil. That is not true, Kelly stammered. I care about doing the right thing. I care about people. Then why are we here? Leslie asked pointedly. Why did this conversation even have to happen? If you cared as much as you say you do, you would have thought before you spoke. You would have considered how your words might land. Kelly's tears were flowing freely now, but there was anger mixed with the hurt. You know what, Leslie? I am human. I make mistakes. And I am sorry that I am not perfect, but I am trying my best here. Your best is not good enough if it still causes harm, Leslie said coldly, and I am not going to congratulate you for trying when the result is the same as if you had not tried at all. The tension in the room was unbearable. Kelly looked around, as if searching for someone to step in and save her, but no one was coming. This was her show, her interview, and she had to see it through. I do not know what else you want from me, Kelly said, her voice breaking. I have apologized. I have listened to you. I have admitted I was wrong. What else is there? Accountability, Leslie answered immediately. Real accountability. Not just words, not just tears, but actual change. And that takes time. That takes effort. That takes humility. And I am not sure you are ready for that. Kelly stood up abruptly, surprising everyone in the studio. Her hands were shaking, and her face was flushed. I cannot do this anymore, she said, her voice trembling. I cannot sit here and be told that nothing I do is good enough, that no matter what I say, I am still the villain. No one called you a villain, Kelly, Leslie said, remaining seated but watching Kelly carefully. You might as well have, Kelly shot back. You have spent this entire interview tearing me apart, and maybe I deserved some of it. Maybe I did say something wrong. But this feels like you are just punishing me now. Punishing you? Leslie repeated, her voice incredulous. Kelly, this is not punishment. This is me refusing to make you comfortable while you avoid real accountability. If that feels like punishment to you, then maybe you need to examine why that is. Kelly shook her head violently. No. I am done examining things right now. I am done being lectured. I am done feeling like a terrible person on my own show. Then maybe you should not have asked the question in the first place, Leslie said, still calm but firm. Kelly let out a bitter laugh. You know what? Maybe I should not have invited you on this show at all if this is how it was going to go. The audience gasped audibly at that. Leslie's expression did not change, but something flickered in her eyes. There it is, Leslie said quietly. There is the real Kelly Clarkson. When things get hard, when you do not get your way, you lash out. I am not lashing out, Kelly protested weakly. I am overwhelmed. Kelly put her hands over her face, her shoulders shaking. I just cannot do this right now. Then do not, Leslie said simply. Walk away. Prove my point. Kelly stared at Leslie for a long moment, tears still streaming down her face. Then, without another word, she turned and started walking toward the side of the stage. The audience was in complete shock. Crew members rushed forward, unsure if they should stop Kelly or let her go. The cameras were still rolling, capturing every moment of this unprecedented meltdown. Kelly, one of the producers, called out, but Kelly kept walking. She did not look back. She did not say anything else. She just left. Leslie stood there on the stage, watching Kelly's exit with an unreadable expression. The studio was in chaos now. People were talking frantically, trying to figure out what to do. But Leslie remained calm, almost eerily so. And that, Leslie said, speaking directly to the camera now, is exactly what I was talking about. When faced with real accountability, when faced with genuine discomfort, people run, they shut down, they make themselves the victim, and nothing ever changes. The camera stayed on Leslie as she walked toward her chair, picked up her bag, and headed toward the opposite side of the stage from where Kelly had exited. She moved with purpose, with dignity, with her head held high. "I came here in good faith," Leslie continued, still addressing the camera. "I came here thinking we could have a real conversation, but what I learned is that some people are not ready for that. Some people are more invested in maintaining their image than actually growing as human beings." Leslie reached the edge of the stage and paused, turning back to face the audience one last time. "To everyone watching this," she said, her voice clear and strong, "do not let anyone make you feel like you are too much. Do not let anyone convince you that you need to shrink yourself to make them comfortable. And do not let anyone tell you that holding them accountable is the same thing as attacking them." With those final words, Leslie walked off the stage, leaving behind a stunned audience, a frantic crew, and a moment of television that no one would ever forget. The cameras kept rolling for a few more seconds, capturing the empty stage, the shocked faces in the crowd, and the absolute chaos that had just unfolded. This was not how daytime television was supposed to go. This was raw, uncomfortable, and real. And it left everyone watching with one burning question: what happens when two strong personalities refuse to back down? So what do you think about this entire situation? Was Leslie right to walk off, or did things go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button, because trust me, there is always more drama to unpack.